Good morning. Today I will discuss about cell. What is cell? Cell is the smallest structural, functional and biological unit of life. Cell is also called the building blocks of life. Now what is cytology? The branch of biology which deals with the study of cells is called cytology. Who coined the term cell? Robert Hooke coined the term cell. Now what is cell theory? Cell theory was given by M.J. Schleiden and Theodore Sheehan. It was refined further by Rudolf Virchow. The main postulates of cell theory are all living beings are made up of first all living beings are made up of one or more cells. Second, cells are the basic structural and functional unit of all living beings. Third, all cells are basically alike in chemical composition and metabolic processes. Fourth, all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Now we'll discuss about unicellular or multicellular organisms. Every living organism is made up of cell. Either they are made up of one cell or they are made up of more than one cell. The organisms which are made up of one cell are called unicellular organisms. Examples of unicellular organisms are bacteria, protozoa, amoeba, yeast, etc. The organisms which are made up of more than one cell are called multicellular organisms. Examples of multicellular organisms are plants like rose, neem, etc. Animals like human, hydra, etc. Then there are two types of cell: prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. What is prokaryotic cell? Prokaryotic cells are those cells which do not have a membrane-bound nucleus. That is, they do not have a true nucleus. Eukaryotic cells are those cells which have a membrane-bound nucleus. That is, they have a true nucleus. Prokaryotic cell, prokaryotic cell do not have also do not have a membrane-bound organelle like nuclei, endoplasmic reticulum or mitochondria. Eukaryotic cell also have a membrane-bound organelle like mitochondria or endoplasmic reticulum. Example of prokaryotic cell is bacteria. Example of unicellular prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell is always unicellular, but eukaryotic cell can be unicellular or multicellular organisms. Example of prokaryotic cell is bacteria. Example of unicellular eukaryotic cell is protozoa. Example of multicellular eukaryotic cell is human.
Therefore, we can say that all prokaryotes are unicellular, but all unicellular organisms are not prokaryotes. Okay, very good.
Now,
That's it.
Now, what is cell membrane? Cell membrane is a very thin, delicate, flexible, and selectively permeable membrane which surrounds each cell. Cell membrane is also called plasma membrane. Now, what is cell wall? Cell wall and the structural layer which surrounds some cell that's outside the cell membrane, and that's outside the cell membrane. It is a non-living structure of a cell. Cell wall is freely permeable membrane. Cell wall gives shape, support and protection to the cell. Some organisms that are having cell wall are bacteria, algae, archaea, fungi, and plants.
And cell membrane is present in all the cells, all types of organisms.
Now, what are the differences between cell wall and cell membrane? Cell wall is hard, whereas cell membrane is thin and flexible. Cell wall is freely permeable membrane, whereas cell membrane is selectively permeable membrane. Cell wall is present in plants, archaea, algae, fungi, and plants, whereas cell membrane is present in all cells. Cell wall is non-living structure of a cell. Cell membrane is a living structure of a cell. Now, how microscope is used?
Before going to that, kindly clear one thing. Why cell membrane is called selectively permeable membrane?
Cell membrane is called selectively permeable membrane because it consists of fine pores which allows only certain molecules to pass through it and prohibit the others. That is why cell membrane is also called selectively permeable membrane.
It is also called semi-permeable membrane. Both
Yes.
are same. Okay. Now you can go to microscope.
How microscope is so important. All organisms, unicellular or multicellular, is made up of cell. Is made up of cell. Microscope make it possible to see inside the cell that make up all living beings, that make up all living organisms. Without microscope, we cannot see or understand how life works. So that we can say that microscope made it possible to see the basic component of life. Who discovered the first and simple microscope? The first and simple microscope was discovered by Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, and the compound microscope was developed by Robert Hooke.
Very good.
Now, what are organelles? Organelles are organelles are organized or specialized cellular structure that performs specific function within the cell membrane. Within the cell membrane. Or some organelles are nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, vacuoles, lysosome, Golgi apparatus, etc. Now, what is nucleus? Nucleus is a major organelle of a cell. Nucleus is a small spherical mass that is present in center of the cytoplasm. That is present in the center of the cytoplasm. What is the function of the nucleus? The function of nucleus nucleus is the command center. Nucleus is the command center of the cell. That is it controls and regulates the activities of the cell like growth, division, and cell metabolism. Cell nucleus contain hereditary material, that is DNA. Nucleolus within nucleus is the site of ribosome biogenesis. Ribosome is used for synthesis protein.
Synthesis of proteins.
Synthesis
Actually,
of
what
proteins.
happens? The ribosomes which are produced inside the nucleus, it gets transported into the cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm the ribosome helps in the synthesis of proteins. Okay,
Yes.
carry on. But I will say that acha, you want to complete nucleolus first.
Yes.
Complete it first, then I will say.
Wow, what is nucleolus? Nucleolus is a dense or concentrated specialized area within the nuclear membrane. Nucleolus is the major is the important part of the nucleus. What is the function of nucleus? Nucleolus. The function of nucleus is nucleolus is the site of ribosome biogenesis. Ribosome is used for synthesis of protein.
Okay. Now within the nucleus and nuclear membrane, there are some thread-like structures. What are those? Chromatin fibers. Chromatin fibers gets ultimately converted to chromosomes. Can you explain something about chromosomes? What are those?
Yes.
Okay.
Chromosomes are bundles of tightly coiled DNA which forms thread-like structure within the which form thread-like structure within the nucleus. Chromosomes are actually hereditary factors. Chromosomes are actually hereditary factors which carry the genetic genetic information. Now, how chromosomes is important? Chromosomes contain gene. This gene is used for transmitting characteristics from parents to offspring. From parents to offspring, so that we can say that chromosomes carry the genetic information. Now I will discuss about mitochondria.
But before going to any other organelle, we have missed one thing. That is protoplasm. What is protoplasm? What is cytoplasm? And what is nucleoplasm?
Yes.
First say that, then come to other organelles.
What is protoplasm? Protoplasm is generally used to refer to the living content of the cell. Is generally used to refer to the living part of the cell. It is the fluid living content of the cell which encloses within the cell membrane. In eukaryotes, protoplasm which surround the nucleus is called cytoplasm, and that inside the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. What is cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is colorless and translucent, semi-liquid, jelly-like substance. Jelly-liquid, jelly-like substance within the cell membrane. What is nucleoplasm?
All the organelles are suspended within the cytoplasm.
All the organelles are suspended within the cytoplasm,
Okay.
like mitochondria or endoplasmic reticulum.
Etc. And what is nucleoplasm?
The part of protoplasm, which encloses the part of protoplasm which encloses the nuclear membrane but not forming the nucleolus is called nucleoplasm.
Okay, and within this nucleoplasm, the chromatin fibers are present.
Yes.
Very good.
Now
Now you can describe the other organelles.
Now, what is mitochondria? Mitochondria is an organelle found in most eukaryotic cell. Mitochondria is used for production of energy. Is used for associated production of energy in the form of ATP.
Mitochondria is associated with the production of energy in the form of ATP.
ATP.
Okay, adenosine triphosphate. Okay.
To regulate cellular metabolism.
Very good.
Now I will discuss about endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is a network of membranous tubules that forms a series of flattened sacs within the cytoplasm of eukaryotic cell. The two subunits of endoplasmic reticulum are rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is a series of connected flattening sacs that have many ribosomes attached on the outer surface, giving it a distinctive appearance under the microscope. Rough endoplasmic reticulum are present in are surrounding in all the are rough endoplasmic reticulum are found in all parts of the cell, but the density is higher in nucleus and
Near the nucleus.
near the nucleus and Golgi apparatus.
Okay.
Now, what is smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is a series of connected flattened sacs. Flattened sacs that connected flattened sacs that have no ribosomes attached on the outer surface. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is more tubular than rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is distributed in all parts of the cytoplasm. Now I will discuss how cell division.
No, what are the function of the endoplasmic reticulum? We have to discuss first.
The function of
Individually, the function of the rough endoplasmic reticulum
yes.
and then function of the smooth endoplasmic reticulum.
The function of rough endoplasmic reticulum are rough endoplasmic reticulum helps in translation and folding of proteins and folding of proteins and folding of proteins. Second, rough endoplasmic reticulum helps in synthesis of enzymes from lysosomes.
Four lysosomes.
Lysosomes.
Okay.
The function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum is smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in the process of
Production of
helps in the production of cholesterol like phospholipid
helps in the production of certain lipids like cholesterol and phospholipids.
phospholipids.
Okay. And these lipids are helpful in
these lipids are helpful in cellular.
making of the membranes. Making of membranes.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, okay. Continue. Of membranes.
Making of membrane.
If you see the cell membrane, it is also made up of phospholipids.
Yes.
If you see the membrane of an organelle, it is made up of phospholipids. So, the lipids which are produced by the smooth endoplasmic reticulum like cholesterol and phospholipids are used for making of membranes.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
How cell division is important? Cell division is important for producing new cells. New cell is need to be produced for replacement of dead or worn out cells. Repair of tissues. Third, growth of tissues, and fourth, reproduction. How many chromosomes are there in human bodies? Then there are 23 pairs of chromosomes. That is 46 chromosomes in total. Out of 23 chromosomes.
Out of 23 pairs of chromosomes.
Out of 23 pairs of chromosomes, 22 pairs of chromosomes is autosomes.
Are called autosomes.
Autosomes, and the remaining pair of chromosomes are called sex chromosome. We know that centrosome is an important organelle present in eukaryotic cell. Now we will discuss about the functions of centrosome. The two functions of centrosome are: first, to organize microtubules, which are the major components of cytoskeleton. Second, centrosome also involved in the process of cell division. Now we will discuss about vacuoles. What is vacuoles?
What are vacuoles?
What are vacuoles? Vacuoles are membrane-bound organelle. Vacuoles are membrane-bound organelle that looks like a fluid-filled sac in eukaryotic cell with no definite shape or size. Now we will know what are the functions of vacuoles. The three functions of vacuoles are: first, some vacuoles can store waste products that acts like garbage disposal site. Second, vacuoles of plants considered with storage of water and nutrients, whereas vacuoles of animals considered with excretion and secretion. Third,
Are concerned with excretion and
are
secretion.
concerned with
Vacuoles of plants are concerned with
the storage of water and nutrients, whereas vacuoles of animal
are concerned with. It is not considered. Are concerned with.
concerned with excretion and secretion.
Okay.
Third, vacuoles are also internally hydrostatic pressure of the cell. Now
Pardon, it's not clear. Vacuoles.
vacuoles are
Vacuoles also maintain the
vacuoles also maintain the internal hydrostatic pressure of the cell. Now we will know what is plastids.
What are plastids?
What are plastids? Plastids are membrane-bound organelle. Plastids are membrane-bound organelle present in plants and eukaryotic algae. Plastids are of three types: chromoplastids, chromoplast, chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. First, we will know what
We will
is
discuss about
chloroplast. Chloroplast.
chloroplast. Okay. What are chloroplasts? Okay, continue.
Now we will discuss what are chloroplasts.
Continue.
Chloroplasts are green plastids. Chloroplasts are green.
Continue. Green plastids.
Green plastids which helps in photosynthesis. Now we will discuss what are chromoplasts. Chromoplasts are colored plastids. Chromoplasts are colored plastids, but they do not contain
Do not contain chlorophyll.
chlorophyll.
Okay.
They usually have orange, yellow, and red color. They are fruits and flowers. Now, what are Leucoplast. Leucoplast. Leucoplast are colorless. Leucoplast are colorless.
Plastids.
Plastids. Leucoplasts are colorless plastids. They are present in bulb, seed, and root.
Okay.
Leucoplasts store starch, fat, and proteins.
So this is all about cell. Oh, excellent. So why are you laughing so much?
Because you are laughing.
Okay. And that is because of your pronunciation. Okay. Chalo, bye.